The last time we shared with you guys, we just finished our kitchen ceiling and it came out beautiful, and that means I can finally get to doing the floor. That's what I'm doing today. We're installing a hardwood floor in our kitchen. Now we're going to be doing the same hardwood floor that we installed in our living room and carrying it through seamlessly into the kitchen. It's going to look beautiful and cohesive. You might wonder why we're putting wood in a kitchen. Some people think kitchens are a wet zone. They kind of are. But wood is pretty durable, and this house had a wood floor in the kitchen for decades and decades since it was built, and it's just how the old houses were built. We're going with the old house theme, so we're sticking with wood. And we find with our personal lifestyle, at least, that we don't get a lot of water on the floor in the kitchen. There might be an occasional drip or spill, but it's quickly cleaned up. I'm not worried about wood in the kitchen. In our previous homes, we've always installed tile, except for a quick update we did in a single wide that we lived in for a short time. We did laminate just because it was inexpensive and fast, but typically we've done tile. We're breaking away from that today because we're just tired of doing tile. Guys, it's so much work, and we just wanted wood this time. It's going in quick. It looks beautiful, matches the home. We're happy with it. We'll be careful. Now this time, you might not notice, but we are having a lot more trouble with this floor than we did in our living room. This is the same floor, but it's a different order, so it's a different batch of boxes. And we're finding that some of the wood is wider than others. Not long, wide. So you can install a board and then you put the next board in, and it's a 1/16 of an inch narrower. It might not sound like a lot, but that means you're going to have a gap when you do your next row. You're going to have a gap in your boards, and it doesn't look good, so we've been fighting that a little bit and just trying to get the wood to go in looking good. Wasn't too much trouble, but we definitely have a couple of trouble spots. And what we did was we were planning ahead because this is a kitchen, and we said, let's take all the defective wood, let's take all the weird gaps, and let's try to hide it under the counters. So we know we'll be installing cabinets along the walls, and we're going to have appliances, the refrigerator, all this. So we can try our best to keep the middle of the room looking beautiful and keep all the problems on the sides. You will never see it, ever, ever. Now it might seem like a waste to install hardwood floor underneath the cabinets where you'll never see. It's just our preference of how we want to do it. Certainly you could just space it out with some plywood or leave it empty or install the floor after the cabinets. All of those options are fine. We just want a full floor throughout the kitchen. The benefit of this is it does make it easier if you ever renovate and you want to keep that floor. You can rearrange the kitchen however you want. You don't have to worry about missing floor. So that's what we're doing. And I don't think we have to explain the process too much because we've covered it in our past videos. We're using our flooring nailer. We're using some Class 2 vapor retarder to help mitigate moisture problems from, coming up through the floor, even though they shouldn't with this plywood. It just goes in pretty quick and easy. Very little waste. We're pretty efficient with it, and I like it. So this is our floor installation. it is, guys. The floor is done and it looks beautiful. There might have been a small space in there where it looks like a skip in the video. I forgot to get the camera running, but I think you guys saw most of it, so not too much to miss. And I want to point out one thing that I forgot to mention previously, and that is this bottom board around our wall. You might have noticed that. We have decided on what we want our kitchen to look like, so we picked up enough wood to do one board around the base of the room just to get our floor spacing correct. We wanted to make sure that we had enough room for the wall and a slight gap for expansion of the floor. So that's what that is going to be our wall. Obviously this isn't finished and we will have a finished wall. This honestly doesn't even matter. We can try to seal it later, but if we don't, it's going to be behind the baseboard. It literally won't be seen by anything. So not a big deal, but that's why we do have that one board started, just to make installing this easier, and it did help a lot. And so, as with the rest of the house, we're going to carry on with the wood wall. The only thing is we're having trouble picking out our color. We know we want this wood, but we don't know what color. Whenever we can afford to get to it, we will buy the wood and install these walls. It's going to be really cool. You can just imagine how quick this room can come together because we have a finished floor, we have a finished ceiling. This is all that's left. Aside from cabinets, but that's all that's left, preventing us from making really good use of this space. So that should come together really quickly when we're ready for that. We got to clean up a little, but you can see goes straight into the living room. Beautiful.
Hi.
What are you working on?
A puzzle. This is what it is. It's like a foil type puzzle.
Tiger.
Yeah.
I see you have a lot of stuff out here on the table.
Photo album stuff.
Organizing the old photos.
Yep.
And we should have some new photos coming soon.
Yeah, I want to get 2 rolls sent in. Here's Doug when he was little. Holding a cat. We don't have many photos of Doug when he was little. Just a few.
So she's been working really hard, just going through the old photo albums, old photo boxes, reorganizing them, and putting them in new albums.
Yep. That look like these.
And so maybe once we're finished getting organized, we'll show you guys our stuff. Not all of our photos, I just mean the setup.
Yep.
And I think this is all going to end up on a built-in bookshelf around the corner here in the living room, which is going to be really cool.
Yep. We can put our puzzles in there and photo albums and books and whatever else.
We've always struggled at finding a spot for that stuff. I'm really excited to have a shelf.
Me too.
A bookshelf.
Or else it has no place to go.
And so you're kind of putting them in nicer looking albums, but also more uniform size.
Yeah.
Instead of all different sized
Yeah.
books.
I'm going to be taking stuff out of these old ones and putting them in new ones and...
Taking out the pictures that you don't want in there.
Yep.
Cool. So how do you feel about having another floor done in the house?
Good.
Yeah?
Now we're
Clean.
down to just one dirty area.
One more room to go, flooring wise. That's really big.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say 2 more because we have the bathroom to do. That's tile. 1 more wood floor to do.
Yep.
And guys, there's so many projects ahead of us that we don't even know what's coming next because we just bounce. We get excited and we just want to do everything, so we end up doing everything.
Yeah.
And never finishing anything, but we're getting there. Speaking of projects, we have also been getting a lot of yard work done you pretty much spent the whole evening outside just cleaning up the yard.
Yeah. We finally cleaned off the tarp that had all the compost on it from when we did our raised beds.
And think about how long ago that was.
Yeah. I'm glad that's gone.
Our garden beds have settled down enough that we had plenty of room in them to add the extra dirt into them and use up the extra dirt on that tarp and throw out that tarp because it was full of holes and it was sun damaged and it was just time to go.
It was like ripping easy.
We really hate all the plastic and like plastic tarps. We gotta find a better way for that. The yard is looking beautiful. We've been picking up so much mess. It's hard to explain, but our property is messy and it's been looking better and better and better.
It's hard when you don't have a garage or any outbuildings.
Mm-hmm.
This is like our first time not having a garage, and it's difficult.
We used to have a messy garage. Now we just have a messy yard.
Yeah.
That's
Picture the mess out in the open instead of in a garage.
Unfortunately,
Hidden.
we didn't film any of that. We just sometimes work just to get it done.
Yeah.
And just that's our little moment. But we have been making good progress. We can't wait to share it all with you. But that's all we have for now. So thanks for watching. And until next time, take care.
See ya.